The Constitution of India's Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Secularism. You hear this word all the time, right? And wow, it can be a real political lightning rod. But what if I told you it's not about being anti-religion at all? It's really about creating a fair playing field for everyone. So let's dive into this and unpack what secularism is actually all about. Okay, so let's try and cut through all the noise. I mean, when you strip away the headlines, the political spin, what is the one big idea at the very heart of secularism? That's the question we're going to answer right now. To get to that core, we first have to figure out what secularism actually looks like in practice. So let's move beyond the label and lock in a clear, practical definition. I like to think of secularism as the referee in a game between the state, religion, and, well, you. Now, the ref's job isn't to pick a favorite team, right? It's to stay totally neutral and make sure everyone plays by the exact same rules. The whole point is to create a fair and impartial playing field for everybody. Okay, that sounds pretty good in theory, but what does it look like on the ground? How does a state that follows this principle actually operate day to day? It's kind of like a four-legged stool. You need all four legs for it to be stable. So the first leg is that separation of state and religion. The second, equal respect for all beliefs. The third is the active protection of your freedom of belief. And the fourth is a solid, ironclad commitment to non-discrimination. I mean, you take away any one of those legs and the whole structure just becomes wobbly. These four features, that's the what of secularism. But to really truly get it, we need to ask a much deeper question. Where did these powerful ideas even come from? What are the philosophical foundations holding this entire thing up? All right, let's do our deep dive. We're about to peel back the next layer here and uncover the profound why behind the what. Because this isn't just some modern political trend. It's a really powerful framework that's built on centuries of deep thinking about how we can all live together. And what we find at the very foundation of secularism are 7 distinct philosophical pillars. You can think of these as the source code, the fundamental logic that makes a fair and functional society possible in the first place. Let's walk through them. So, the first and most central pillar is humanism, and it's a simple but absolutely revolutionary idea. The state's number one job is to serve people, our dignity, our freedom, our well-being, not to push a particular religious doctrine. And this just perfectly illustrates the direct outcome of that principle. When humanism is your starting point, the entire mission of the state becomes laser-focused on one thing: ensuring a good life for its citizens right here and now. So if the state is focused on people, how does it make fair rules for everyone? Well, that brings us to our second pillar, rationalism. This just means laws should be based on reason and evidence, not specific religious texts. Think about it. A law against theft isn't based on a religious commandment, but on the rational, shared understanding that stealing harms people and it harms society. Simple as that. This focus on reason leads directly to the third pillar, individual liberty. Thinkers like John Locke argued that our conscience, well, it's our own. And for that freedom to be real, the state has to be neutral. It can't put its thumb on the scale. Secularism protects your fundamental right to choose, to practice, to change, or even to walk away from any religion you want. This powerful idea of personal freedom logically demands our fourth pillar, equality and justice. A secular state makes a promise to see every single person as a citizen first, not as a member of some religious group. It's all about making sure your rights and your opportunities depend on your citizenship, not your beliefs. Our fifth pillar, pluralism, accepts a basic reality of modern life. Our societies are filled with tons of different belief systems. Now, instead of saying all this diversity is a problem to be solved, secularism sees it as a strength to be managed. It provides the framework where all these different worldviews can actually coexist in peace. So how do we manage all that? Well, that brings us to pillar number 6, the social contract. This is the core idea that we, the people, agree to form a state to protect things we all value, things like safety and justice. But if that state starts playing favorites with one religion, it's breaking its side of the bargain because it's no longer working for everyone. And that contract is reinforced by our final pillar, the modern philosophy of human rights. International standards, like the ones set by the UN, declare that freedom of thought and belief is a fundamental human right. Secularism is the political framework that brings this right to life, protecting your freedom to believe, to change your belief, or to not believe at all. So we've seen the what, and we've dug deep into the why. But let's bring it all together and ask the most important question of all. Why does any of this matter right now in our world today? So what does this all add up to? Well, it's pretty simple, really. It's the blueprint for a society that works for everyone. A society where people come first, where our laws are based on shared reason, and where every single one of us is truly free to believe whatever we choose. See, when these foundations are in place, they don't just exist separately, they work together. They create this incredible dynamic where individuals are free, the state is an impartial guardian, and our communities can be built on a real foundation of peace, respect, and tolerance. And that leaves us with a final, kind of provocative thought. In a world that is more diverse and more interconnected than it has ever been, is it even possible to build a just and stable society for everyone without these core philosophical foundations at its heart? Now that's something to think about.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support encourages me to create more content. Thank you.